Hello and welcome to this very special episode of the Great British Mickey Waffle. I'm Ben and I'm joined today by my fellow Wafflers as we gather to celebrate our second anniversary. So let's see who's made it to our party. Sticking to social distancing guidelines, of course, we're currently all sitting outside with a drink in hand in our Facebook community, the Wafflers Aunts. So who have we got with us today? So we've got John.
Hi Ben, I've even brought my birthday hat as well, just for the occasion. Look at that.
Brilliant.
Hey, got a little part. Oh, come on.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
There you go. Thank you very much.
We have Sammy.
I'm here. Hi.
We have Claire.
I'm here, and I can't believe you've put up with me for 2 years. So
I can't believe it's been 2 years.
I know.
Just Claire, I know where the mute button is. It's all good.
Yeah, for John, obviously, not for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, obviously. Yeah.
We've got Jill.
Hi, good evening.
We got Peter.
Cheers.
And we have Becca.
Hello.
So
Yay.
what are we all drinking tonight?
That I've got the hard stuff, the water. I'm on the rough stuff.
What's in the water?
Who knows?
Vodka.
Who knows?
Vodka. You say water.
Yeah. And we got some Prosecco.
They got Prosecco.
Oh, that's very nice.
What's Claire drinking?
It is
that
a
rosé?
large. No, it's not. It's actually tonic water.
Oh.
It's only when we're recording on a school night.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's true. So, is it your first or your second drink?
First.
Things are quite different from when we started back in June of 2019. So that sounds a long time ago. We've had park closures, reopenings, and many postponed trips. We've not let this stop us, though, as we get together each month for a chat about anything and everything about Disney and Universal. Yes, we've even had a chat about bathrooms.
That was quite a good chat, to be fair.
It was. So
It was, yes.
Important topic.
From our very first episode, where we find out that we can't say happy birthday together at the same time. And we also came to the conclusion that the Millennium Falcon is not a plane. So our latest shows where we've been chatting to some amazing friends in the Disney community. So and ventured into doing weekly and monthly live shows on YouTube and Facebook. So there's been some amazing highlights. And I think now is the best time to have a reminisce, to sit back and relax and enjoy as we share some of our favourite moments of the Great British Mickey Waffle.
Hello, and welcome to the first ever Mickey Waffle. We're a bunch of Brits, all members of the DIB, who love to waffle on about Disney.
Hello and welcome to the third mystical monorail of magic that is the Great British Mickey Waffle.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Great British Mickey Waffle.
Crash the plane, the Millennium Falcon. Cast
plane.
members of it. Did that. Sorry, it's called the freaking Seed Bearer. Seed Bearer.
And do you know what? I think I'm going to go for the croissant au escargot. Because A, most people don't like it, so it's almost like a little bit of showing off the fact I can eat it so easily. And B, it's always nice to try and trick Emma into eating it. She's had a little bite of it before, thinking they were scallops. Well, after I told her they were scallops. And she would have forgotten by the next time we go, so I might try it. Maybe a slightly different angle, but the main objective is to get her to eat snails.
The Great British Mickey Waffle presents a Christmas waffle. It was a chilly winter's night as Scrooge sat down at his computer. It was nothing extravagant, just a simple black laptop. He could have had an expensive silver one, but dark was cheap, and Scrooge liked it.
What's this? Podcasts. They're free, aren't they? All right, I'll choose this one.
Right, are you sitting comfortably? Then we shall begin. 'Twas the waffle before Christmas, and all through the house nothing was stirring, except talk of the mouse. Let us all gather around the fire pit with our s'mores, and forget about work, our troubles, and the in-laws. Let's laugh, debate, regale and unwind. Let's grab an eggnog or a Claire-approved sized glass of wine. It's the season that some people love, but others abhor it. Add a pinch of Disney and how could anybody not adore it? We've got all our wafflers here for this wondrous edition, but it will be John we send out on this first festive mission. We often waffle that Disney things were better back when, which was sometimes lost on our youngest, Sammy, Becca and Ben. But John will remind us of some lost Mickey traditions. Some will have seen, but some won't have experienced. If these strike a chord, I hope it sparks some festive cheer, or at least a smile or a nod. For John, it's certainly tears.
Where Beauty and the Beast features. Also there will be the opening of a creperie, opening by the same company that owns Chef de France and Monsieur Paul. This looks a really great addition if you ever need a quick crepe when exploring World Showcase.
When you find yourself in a Disney park and you need to use the conveniences, then let's face it, we all have our favourites. And, well, the ones that we try to avoid and hold on a bit longer. It's a bit of an odd topic, but it's the one attraction that absolutely every guest who visits any park across the world will visit.
Right, can I go a bit slightly off the question? Slightly, already.
Are you cheating?
Yeah.
That's my game.
But I think I'm going for the toilets on the Disney Magic.
Ooh.
Yeah, because not only is there somebody in there all the time, not only do they clean them after
I'm not sure I like the sound of that.
Okay.
You have to share the loo.
In the evening, there is a person looking after the loos, all evening.
An attendant.
Yeah, an attendant.
Okay,
They
a
clean
bathroom
it for
attendant,
you
okay.
after you use it. They clean it after you use it. See,
Okay.
each individual
That's very
person
personal.
gets a totally clean loo.
Yeah.
And they say, have a magical day when you leave.
Hello and welcome to this very special episode of the Great British Mickey Waffle. I'm Ben and I'm joined by fellow wafflers Becca,
Hello.
John,
Hiya.
Claire
Hi.
and Lloyd.
Hello.
How are you all doing today, guys?
Good.
Not bad, same old
Yeah, not,
Yeah, alright.
yeah, good stuff.
So we have a very special guest joining us today. He's the host and creator of podcast WDW Radio, Lou Mangello. Hello Lou, how are you today?
Hello, everybody. I feel out of place. I'm the only one without a really cool accent. So
Well, that was
thank you guys
actually-
so much. You guys are so nice, like everybody else in the UK. You're so nice.
We're all on the best behaviour. Normally, we're all poking fun and laughing at each other, or me.
There's always someone that lowers the tone
Lloyd.
as well.
Lloyd.
Or John, it was John last
It
time.
was.
It was.
No, you guys are great. You have a great rapport and a wonderful dynamic, and you make me feel at home. So thank you for that.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Thanks, Luke.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you.
Luke.
Cheers.
God save the Queen.
So sorry, I thought you meant like checking people out.
I mean, I would be checking while I was checking them in. But like, but yeah, I would just love to like check people into the hotel and get there, like, because they'll be all excited and we'll get to ask them questions like, what are you most looking forward to? And I would love to be able to place people in their rooms as well. I know that's a bit of a strange thing to want to do, but I've always kind of really wanted to see that side of it and be able to like pick the rooms that I'm in and see where's free and where's not free and stuff. Bit of a strange one, but yeah, so I would like to check people in, not check people out, but check people out while I'm checking them in. Okay, thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Ben and welcome to the February edition of the Great British Mickey Waffle.
I'll tell you one thing, I'm actually tempted. I'm really tempted. If we're going to walk from Out of Animation to Pop, I'm tempted to keep walking out a little bit further and just nip into McDonald's. Just for the simple fact that we can get Sammy some nuggets, right? So that'll keep Sammy quiet for a
I
bit.
think they do nuggets at everything pop.
Yeah, but also I'm not paying the price for a burger that Pop are charging for the burger. I'm going to McDonald's because actually it's about a quarter of the price. So there you go. But that's me being tight because I'm like that. And actually, I would say the choice in here is actually really limited at the moment. And I've got to say, if I did manage to get that chowder out of animation, I'd either just go for a donut in here or dill pickle in a pouch. As a
What? That sounds wrong in every possible way.
It just sprung out of the menu from me.
I have a funny British story about Alien Encounter.
Oh.
And I hope it's not insulting because I'm going to do the voice for you.
Oh no, we love that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It seems insulting though. But I remember I got on and there was obviously a UK family because the child went, "Mother, is there going to be danger here?" And the mother said, "No, there is no danger here." And I'm like, "Oh, damn, this poor kid. This kid has no idea." And I couldn't say anything. If you remember Alien Encounter, though, Kathy Najimy was an actress who was one of the aliens. And one of the lines she says is, "Those people down there are in danger." Now, I knew this was coming because I've been on the ride 100 times. And he said again, "Mother, are you sure there's no danger here?" And she said no. And then Kathy Najimy, right before the lights go out, right before the alien explodes from the glass shell, make-believe with air in your face, goes, "Those people down there are in danger." And then you hear, and all I heard was, "Ah!" This kid must still be in therapy till today. How do you trust your mom ever again? She should. What the mother should have said was, "Not real danger, Billy. I'm sure it's just Disney fun, so make believe." But by saying no, and then them saying there was gonna be.
So no pressure there, guys.
None.
So, a huge welcome once more to the now legendary After Hours team. That is Jason, Carlos, and Colin. And it's so good to see you all again. And as always, thank you so much for joining us.
You asked for this.
Yes.
I remember that.
Yeah. Are you ready?
Last word. I mean,
Are you ready?
This is going to be fun.
Mean.
Yeah.
It's really good to be with you here.
it is, and I'm so excited to be invited to talk about all the special things and the celebration of all things Disney, but mostly Epcot's World Showcase. So I'm super thrilled about today.
And you wonder why he gets invited back anywhere.
Yes.
Just banished is what it should be.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. I love that, Ben. And I've got to say, I think Claire said it before, it's just how quickly 2 years have gone and so many amazing people that we've met. And then so many amazing giggles that we've actually managed to share. And, I think that's one of the
quite
best
a few
things
that we haven't shared.
Yeah, there's quite a few we couldn't
Don't tell everyone, Claire.
Yeah.
It's been the on the edge ones.
Yeah.
Oh, you got me started. Yeah, we can't. Yeah, let's not mention those. But no, it's been brilliant, and it's been such a fantastic time. I think for all of us, and it's something that I don't think when we did start. Firstly, if anyone's listening for the very first time, please don't go back and listen to that very first show. Please don't. The sound quality is so awful. It's like listening to like that muddied sort of AM radio. And I think, it's amazing how much I think we've all learned about doing this. And I think when we started off doing podcasting, we never for 1 minute thought we would break into the YouTube community and the Facebook community as in the way that we have. And it's been a journey.
There's so many highlights over the past couple of years. And I think the thing is we've all made friends, not just all of us, but in the community as well. Naming a few, Here with the Magic, After Hours, sort of Disney World Freak. There's been so many.
Don't forget Lou Moncello along the way.
Of course,
can't
forget Lou.
Disney Dan,
Disney Dan.
Big Fat Panda. It's just like the list has been
endless. Yeah.
The list has been brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, when you look at the list of what we've done this past 2 years, who knew what was going to happen?
What's even better is the list of stuff we've got going forward.
That's true.
I think you're right, Becca. That's exciting. We've got a whole
We've
load
got
of stuff
another 4 or 5 years worth of stuff planned.
At least.
I was going to say it's more
I need
like
to go get
10,
another
isn't
drink.
it?
I'm going to need another drink at this rate.
I think I'm planning for a retirement at some point.
You're planning to retire?
Okay, I need to be allowed to. So, well, we've been busy and there's no stopping us now. But first, we have a little update. Lloyd has made the decision to step away from the Waffle, and we'd like to say a huge thank you for the part that you've played in everything that you've put into the show in the past 2 years. We look forward to seeing what you get up into the future.
Yeah, I'll drink to that. Cheers, Lloyd.
Yeah, take care,
Thank you,
Lloyd.
Lloyd.
Yeah.
Thanks for the laughs. And the episode titles. Nobody titles an episode like Lloyd.
Indeed. Cheers, Baking Buddy.
The good news is I can start recording in the other room now because we've got the same wallpaper. So I can
You didn't
now
want to
start
clash.
recording. I didn't want to. It was all a bit awkward, you know. People were starting to ask questions, so I can now go in the other room to record, and it doesn't look weird. Yeah. Or
They might just think you've moved in with them.
well, you know, just to say I haven't. Just copied his wallpaper.
And also,
Now,
we're
did
not.
you copy his or did he copy yours?
Oh, I definitely copied his.
All right.
I just want to let everyone know we're not all in the same house.
No.
No. No.
One day maybe, but today is not the day.
Today is not the day.
No. As we are celebrating, I think let's talk about going to Walt Disney World and how would you celebrate when you were there? Do you celebrate birthdays, anniversaries, baby announcements? What a better place to choose than celebrating at Walt Disney World? There's just something that's extra special. It just gives you the little bit of magic and buzz when you're celebrating something special out there. From celebration badges and buttons to dining at signature restaurants. I'm guessing we've all been out there and celebrated something?
Yep.
Yeah.
Anniversaries, birthdays.
Yep.
The lot.
I can see you have a few
christenings.
Whatever you fancy that week.
Halloween in August is just explains the sort of the fluidity of it all. If Disney can celebrate Halloween in August, you can celebrate anything whilst you're in Walt Disney World.
I just remembered I went to not Walt Disney World, Disneyland Paris for my friend's 30th, and we all did the matching T-shirts and stuff like that. So
Okay.
I've got that somewhere, but I've never celebrated anything of my own. But hopefully next year I'll get to be there for my birthday. So.
If Disney can celebrate for 2 years,
Yeah.
This is true.
Yep.
you know,
that's a good point. Yeah. It's
We've never
we've
birthday
done a
cupcake.
few anniversaries, haven't we?
Yeah, we've done a
few
couple of
anniversaries
anniversaries.
there. Had some nice signature restaurants. California Grill comes to mind.
I think as well. I think a lot of this started a good number of years back, and I'm off the top of my head about 2006, 2007, 2008 time, where they did was it a year of a million dreams?
Yeah.
Where random acts of amazing Disney magic sort of stumbled upon different people at different times, and it could be anything as something like free ice cream. It could be something as amazing as that stay that they kept plugging away with the advertising of a stay in Cinderella Castle, and that started for me. It certainly started off something that was uniquely Disney. Because I think what you don't really understand is the very fact of a big major corporation actually giving you something for free actually goes against the whole of the business model of a company that wants to make lots and lots of money. But, you know, strangely enough, it's drawn me back year after year after year after year. And we're not even watching Celebrate a Dream Come True and all that no more, but we still keep on celebrating different things. So yeah, come on, tell us some of the things that you guys have actually been able to enjoy. Come on.
Free food, of course.
Food.
Free
don't
dessert.
mention cupcakes, please.
Free. Yeah. Oh, we have a story about a cupcake. A celebratory cupcake, don't we? You're looking blankly.
I remember the cupcake. I'm not 100% sure I remember the story.
Okay.
I probably will once he tells it.
We were at Magic Kingdom for the 45th anniversary.
Oh, God.
Right, okay.
Okay,
now
yes,
she
I
remembers.
remember this story.
As you do, when you walk into a park when it's celebrating, you get like the leaflets at the front of the park,
Yeah.
which shows you like what special things are happening that day. And we looked at the food, as you do, and we saw these bright blue cupcakes. We thought we're going to stop by Main Street Bakery and get them. As we did, we were just popping in to see like the ceremony of the 45th, and then it wasn't long before we were on the bus heading over to Epcot, and the bus driver braked quite hard, and the cupcake flew out of Becca's hand down the bus.
You still taste it nice.
It was
okay.
It was in a plastic.
Oh my god! I thought you would like literally picked it up off the floor of the bus and ate it.
I was hoping it hit somebody. I'm really sorry.
No, it was in a plastic box. It was okay. It was just a bit smushed.
Right.
But
I'm just picturing you eating it off the floor, just like.
Yeah, so since we got off the bus, we thought we better eat this now. So
I like cake. I don't like cake that much.
we sat down, and it's like the inside of the plastic was all blue.
Yeah,
Right.
Was that one of the Frozen ones? Was celebrating Frozen?
No,
the blue cupcake.
No, it was just
Was
special
it
one
just
they
for
did
the 45th?
They had like
They had a blue one and a red one, and we picked up both just because we wanted to.
Why not?
Yeah, because why not?
And it was just that looks amazing. I've got a few nice photos which I'll put in the show notes. But yeah, I don't have any pictures.
Or after they were dropped.
Unfortunately, it was just before. I think having an after picture would be quite good.
Yeah, it would have been good.
I think I've told this story before. For our anniversary, we went to Victoria and Albert's. Lovely, wonderful. And they have a harpist. And she was playing Disney songs and what you'd expect.
And Christmas songs.
And Christmas songs was near Christmas. And suddenly she started playing the theme from MASH, Suicide is Painless. And
Well, bit of a damper on the celebration. Yeah.
don't know. Okay. Totally unexpected.
Yeah. We did have an amazing night, though.
That's brilliant, yes.
At Victoria and Albert's. They gave us a free fruit cake. That, unlike the jokes about American fruitcake, this was really lovely and light. And we actually had it for breakfast a couple of days later because there was no way we were having it that night.
No.
But we got these badges, anniversary badges, the first time we went to WDW. We've also worn them in Disneyland Paris when we went there for an anniversary. And of course, the CMs there got totally confused because they kept wishing us happy birthday. Because anniversaire in French means birthday. So everywhere we went, they were happy birthday, happy birthday. Okay. But I did also celebrate a birthday in WDW, and I got wished happy birthday by Santa.
Nice.
That's extra special.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think that's the thing I'm most looking forward to. Like, when I go for my birthday next year, is like getting all the attention from the characters and stuff, and all of them like wishing me a happy birthday. I think that would be really good, especially because I'm going by myself. So I think it would be like really good to like.
The thing is, it's when you walk
have the
down
attention.
it's when you walk down Main Street, and it's just not just cast members but other guests wishing happy birthday. And it's just that extra sort of thing, like someone's actually noticed instead of everyone so busy wrapped up in what they're doing.
I think I'll end up with a sore face from smiling so much. I think, honestly.
What was different about Jill's was that it was at the After Hours Christmas, Mickey's Doodad, we call it, because I never remember the name properly.
Yeah, we can never get the name right.
Very Merry Christmas Party.
Yeah,
that's the one.
Mickey's Very Merry Doodad is what we call it. But Santa saw Jill's badge from his sleigh, and you know how big the sleigh is.
Yeah.
That's what was so amazing about it. Yeah, it was amazing.
That's awesome.
Good eyesight.
Yeah. Good old Santa.
So Claire, have you had any sort of celebrations out in Walt Disney World?
I'm trying to think. We did do our so Dan and I had two. So when we got married, we had 2 honeymoons. So we went away for a couple of weeks, just 2 of us, and then in the summer that year we came to Walt Disney World with Morg. So we did have a honeymoon, kind of family moon kind of thing. But I don't think we did anything particularly special for it. I think we did the Keys to the Kingdom tour I remember that with my brother and his wife because they were celebrating their first anniversary. But other than that, there wasn't, there wasn't anything different to normal. We ate in nice restaurants and stuff, but we try and do that anyway. I was lucky enough. I did celebrate my 18th, 21st, and 30th birthdays all at and 40th, obviously when it happens, at Disneyland Paris. So I've celebrated all my big birthdays there, which has been fantastic. It's very lucky. My birthday often hangs around Easter, so it's very convenient.
Yeah. Did you get given a voucher there? Because the last few times we've celebrated birthdays in Disneyland Paris, we got a voucher for freebies.
Yeah, there's always something. Yeah, there's always something. And, whether it be a room upgrade or a, bit of pixie dust thrown your way, it tends to happen. But I certainly remember that celebrating all of those sort of milestone birthdays have been in Disneyland Paris, particularly because of when my birthday falls. But I don't think we've done any, there's always something to celebrate, isn't there? But, officially.
Well, next time you'll have to do, at Disneyland Paris, you'll have to do whatever they're calling it this week. The one where you have a meal in the California Grill and then go upstairs to the Founders Bar to watch.
Sadly, not because the Disneyland Hotel is going to be closed for a couple of years.
Yeah,
so
of course.
We'll have to wait.
Yeah.
Something for the future.
Yeah, we did
Something
that.
for the future.
We've done it twice. Yeah.
I think when you look on Disney's website and you're thinking, okay, I'm going for a birthday or anniversary, I want to do something different this trip. There's so much you can do from things like we've put it before, which we might do for our 10th wedding anniversary, is the photo packages.
Oh, yes.
The professional ones, because I know you can pay for Memory Maker, but looking at the professional ones look really good. We've had a look at a few of the prices and they don't seem too bad. And it's one of those things, it's just something special that these sort of wants.
What do you get? You just get a photo shoot in the park?
Yeah, you can have some done either in the park or you can choose resorts.
Okay,
so
I didn't know that was a thing.
price and
I
how
saw
much.
something.
And
It's nuclear and it
Yeah.
looks really good.
There's a few different ones. There's ones that they've started doing a couple of years ago, which is one where I think is Animal Kingdom and Magic Kingdom, where it's like the first hour you can upgrade your Memory Maker and get like a half an hour photo shoot.
Wow.
So you do a few more creative photos with one, or you can spend and do a 3-4 hour one. Obviously, it's going to be cost
that's quite cool. If you're celebrating something special, that's quite nice, isn't it?
Some of our friends, Mike and Kathy, who we might be talking to soon on the Waffle, they did a big celebration photo shoot around the Grand Floridian and around the cars and things like that. And the photos look wonderful.
Yeah.
I think the most popular place I've seen is at Yacht Club.
I think as well, you talk about photos. I think one of the key things is who is actually taking them. And I think for Disney, I think this is where they've actually found a little niche for those photographers who've been with them for a number of years. And as much as I've complained in recent years that the actual sort of the Photo Pass Memory Maker package has possibly not been as well served by photographers, I think this is something where the real photographers amongst them, the ones that you get those amazing photos, they're the ones who have really sort of become involved in this. So I'm delighted that they're being employed in a way that really makes the most of their skills.
Yeah, as long as it's not done by the automatic photo box.
Yeah,
one of them to take round with you and put it up. And can you imagine? Oh,
yeah,
you have to pay me.
I tell you, I'd quite like that job. A Photo Pass photographer's job, I think, would be a real good one.
I think you can spend so much time with sort of the guests in making the photo what they want and being creative and magic shots, and
that'd be really good.
I think for a lot of people, and we've not really. This kind of goes into two categories. This doesn't it? There's a lot of times there's a lot of things at Walt Disney World, and I think we've spoken about a lot of them on our Wednesday show. Such as VIP tours and dessert parties and the Halloween party. Some of the resorts that we've talked about, and you can choose how you're going to celebrate sort of particular sort of milestones in your family's life. But what still comes back to me is when the little bits of magic just happen.
Yeah.
Just totally spontaneously by either a cast member who remembers the old days where Disney used to give stuff away for free, or just something happens. And I think, Claire, you mentioned it before about sort of room upgrades. And, you know, I always remember we went to Old Key West, and I think it was our very first on-site stay. So we probably about 10 years ago, and we had no idea what to expect. Absolutely no idea, but we had no expectation. We just thought we were staying on property, and we wanted the golf view over the back, and that was good for us. And then we turned up, and there was all these balloons. We had balloons. We got a pin badge with family of the day, and just like, what's this all about? And
that's amazing.
Without knowing it, without even being privy to any of the information, without sending an email to Disney to prime them that we were coming, we just checked in and suddenly found ourselves with these pin badges that say family of the day. And we got a massive room upgrade as well.
Wow. That is good.
We got those balloons in was it All Star Music?
It was All Star Music,
We didn't
actually.
tell them at all. We told them we booked with Virgin, I think, and we were told.
Oh yeah, they put it onto the booking. Maybe.
Yeah, they must put it on booking.
Weirdly, the year before, we'd booked for our honeymoon with Virgin, put that on there.
Nothing.
Nothing.
And I think that's
really
the thing.
happened.
I think that's the thing, that pixie dust happens probably when you're least expecting it, and that's what makes it special. You know, if you go and you say, "Are there any room upgrades?" They'll go, "Yeah, this is how much it will cost you." Whereas it just so happens that you are in the right place at the right time.
Right cast member, right.
And I think that's the thing, isn't it? The cast members are empowered to make that magic if they feel it's the right thing to do. You know, that old mantra that they who ask don't get, which is a mantra from my childhood, I think, still applies. And I think it's funny now you mention it, we probably have celebrated stuff. So I was thinking last time we went in 2019, we did an Illuminations cruise from the yacht club for my brother and his wife, their 10th wedding anniversary. So I know I've mentioned it before, and then we had loads of balloons and banners and everything. I didn't expect any of that because we were so excited about just doing the Illuminations cruise. So, you know, I think when you have a celebration, there is some special little magic that happens that you just you don't know what it's going to look like. You don't know when it's going to happen. But, you know, whether that be a card that's signed by the characters at breakfast, or whether it be a cupcake with, I have to say, some of those free happy birthday cupcakes are just like completely tasteless. I love the sentiment. You know, the sentiment is really lovely, and the like, I suppose it's sponge, but you know, cheap sponge with blue icing.
You're in the wrong places, Claire.
Yeah, Claire, it's not the one that was on the bus. Was
I'm
it?
okay with the sponge.
You know what? I think it tastes like it. We've had some amazing things, but you know, those free off-the-shelf cupcakes.
No,
I would never dream of asking.
No, we tended to get free desserts at meals rather than cupcakes. And back in the last time we were on the Disney Magic, which was for our joint 50th birthday, we were at Palo, and we were absolutely full. We couldn't have had a free dessert if they'd given us one. We couldn't have eaten it. But they brought a plate with happy birthday and our names written on.
And it had chocolate and a little chocolate design and some little fruit coolies. Little pills of fruit coolies.
That's it, isn't it? That's
That
just
was lovely, yeah.
And I'm going to say it's not just Disney. I have to admit, there was a special place. We went to the Cheesecake Factory, and they saw we had the buttons.
We forgot to take them off.
We forgot to take them off because we were busy that day. And
to keep your magic bands on as well.
Yep. As you do.
As you do. Don't take them off. Even at the dark place down the road, we don't take them off.
No.
We went
and we had a Oreo. Well, I had an Oreo one, and they just had a happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary written on both of the plates.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah. We went to the dark place down the road with our
It's called Universal. Okay?
The shadowy place.
We can't really say that anymore. We are talking about it. We've just had a chat about it, haven't we?
We went to Universal.
Yes.
Back when and it was back when Emeralds was still open. And we got free stuff at Emeralds.
Yeah.
For our anniversary.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking for. I can't wait to go.
Do you know what? Maybe we should ring up from the podcast and just say, "Did you know it's Sammy's birthday?"
Yeah.
Do you know individually?
Do you know who we are?
Do you know who
just
we
let
are and who she is? Gonna
Mr. JPEG know that Sammy's coming to
Yeah.
visit.
No, I'm just looking forward to kind of being there for. I mean, it's my 30th. It's a big celebration.
It is,
It's
yeah.
a big,
Yeah.
big
Old.
thing. So,
The
like I
old.
said,
Go
even
downhill.
just I know. Don't remind me. It like gives me the fear. But yeah. So I'm just like I said. I'm just looking forward to celebrating with all the strangers that I see.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'll be doing, and
Be celebrating the
that's what's
magic.
important.
What?
Exactly.
And that's exactly what it
They
is.
should
And I
use
think
that.
that's the best thing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the best thing about
Claire,
Peter, yeah.
I thought you called him Mr. JPEG then for some reason.
Mr.
It sounded
JPEG.
like Mr.
Yes.
JPEG.
What about
JPEG.
the safe
Ah.
personality? Sorry.
It's just a paycheck.
Mr.
Surely.
Paycheck, yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. JPEG, I'm being polite.
Yes.
You never know who might be listening.
Indeed,
The Disney might.
The dates that I'm coming are.
And you'll happily stay at the Grand Floridian if necessary, if that's really the option.
I would prefer the
Polly with
Polly,
the new-
but if I have to, the Grand Floridian will do.
You'll settle for the Grand Floridian.
Yeah,
you'll-
I'll
you'll-
settle.
you'll
Especially
make
with a,
do.
like a late view as well.
I think the phrase is, Sammy, you'd sacrifice yourself if you
I
had
would.
to.
You know, I would.
Yes. You would.
You know,
Yes.
I'll sacrifice my loves and my morals for for anything, especially Disney.
Park view room at the yeah. Nice.
I was worried where you were going with that, Sam, because I thought you were going to mention Tom Holland.
Sacrifice your morals. I think that's already done. Isn't it?
That'll be before I'm staying at Universal, so that'll be then.
Last month, we were discussing our opinions on the Disney dining plan. We love talking about food, don't we?
We do.
Well, some of us do.
Always.
Nuggets.
And with an announcement by
that one day.
Disney about a special offer, which includes up to $950 dining credit, 14-day ticket for the price of $7, and a $200 gift card. Is this offer enough to tempt you back to what Disney World once borders and quarantine restrictions are lifted?
Yes.
Yes.
I think the consensus is
Absolutely.
yeah.
I think the
We've already
consensus with
booked.
us.
Yes.
I think the consensus with
Yes,
us
we
is
have.
that we don't need those incentives.
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
We're already going back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, looking at it in the context of previous offers like free DDP, it's nowhere near as good, obviously. But we had a trip booked and planned for January, and we had nothing. We had no freebies at all, no dining credits at all. So we were quite happy to go with that. So frankly, it's a bonus.
Exactly. Same what Jill and Becca said. We would have been booking anyway. All of us here would have been booking
It's just a
anyway.
bonus.
So
just
it's a
something-
bonus on top.
I'm gonna go the other way on this because actually, I actually, having sort of done the maths on the dining plan, and I know it was the free dining plan, and we talked about it last month. It sort of evens itself out because you're paying a premium for staying on site, and I actually think that what you're being offered, and it's not, you don't get $950 outright. It's only a certain amount per room per night.
Yeah.
But as a family of four, that sort of dining credit doesn't go very far for me, and actually it's pushing me more towards off-site for our next trip. And I know that goes back a few months ago where we were talking about sort of staying in villas and stuff like that. But I actually think Disney have done this as a way of reintroducing it and not, and people actually accepting it. I don't think it doesn't cut mustard for me because
I think it
well
does.
short of what was offered previously. But
Yeah, of course.
I think it really shows how great a free dining offer has been over the past few years.
Oh, absolutely, Ben.
Because
Absolutely.
even when you look back to the first ones where you could get discount at Old Key West and Saratoga for 30% off the room plus free dining, it just shows that and how much food costs now compared to, and when you actually look in it, because like you said, Peter and Jill, that your trip was going to go ahead regardless.
Yeah.
Whether that offer was there or not. So it's in a way, looking at it from that way, you've won out because you've got $200 gift card and some dining credits.
Yeah.
So it's.
I think there's two ways of looking at it from my point of view. There's question, number one, let's face it, it's better than a slap round the face with a wet haddock. Because if you're going to go, then actually have some free credit.
Yeah.
And do you know that from personal experience, Claire?
I'm not even going to answer that, Peter. I just can't, because I know that what I say is going to be inappropriate.
Yeah.
So I cannot respond to that. But I have to say, I think I agree with John to an extent that actually, when you look at $950 maximum in a deluxe resort, unless there's a significant room discount that goes alongside that, which there doesn't seem to be, then, you know, you could, we've talked about it, and actually we're not going to stay on site, so it makes no difference to us. But I suppose as a family, say there's a family of 4, $950, if you were going to stay on site for 5 days, and I was doing that, I would bang out the character dining in the first couple of days and use it for that.
Claire, that $950 is only achievable if you stay in a deluxe resort for 14 nights.
Exactly.
So that $950 is adjustable per night, and the per night comes out at something like $65 a day.
It's very minimal. It's not even one person's allowance on the dining plan.
No.
And therefore, would that entice me to pay the increased prices that the hotels are at? Because they are hugely inflated, because they're going to claw some cash back, haven't they, from the 2020 debacle? Yeah. So is it masking, potentially diverting attention away from the fact that the hotel prices have soared through the roof? Yeah, I think it probably is. And as nice as it is, it certainly isn't enough to make me go, oh, hang on a minute, let's replan and go and stay on site. Yeah. Definitely not.
But they don't have to give you anything, you know.
No, they don't, and that's exactly the issue, Peter. That people are going to go anyway. People are going to go anyway. So actually, you know, if you're going to go, you're going to stay on site, and you're not going to drive, and that's your choice for your holiday. Then take the credit, but don't think it by any stretch. They're not doing you any favors.
Oh no!
I think when everyone in the UK hasn't been able to go into Walt Disney World since February 2020, it's pretty much. I think we're all just willing to go back out with it, and sometimes it'll be at whatever cost.
Yeah, exactly. It's the 50th as well, so you know they're going to be busy, so they don't have to give as much away as they possibly had to in the past.
As much as I appreciate
upgrade. Sorry.
No, go.
It has made us upgrade our trip though, because we did have 9 nights at Pop, and we now have 14 nights at Coronado.
So I find that interesting, Jill. So that offer of some dining credit has meant that you have purchased 6 more days on site.
Well, yes,
it was a celebratory gift basket.
Yes, it was
not me with that.
No, but the reason for that was basically because our Japan trip has been postponed for another year. So we had already decided that we were going to extend our Orlando trip instead. So we were, at best, we were going to do 14 nights at Pop anyway. But when we crunched the numbers, 14 nights at Coronado was something like £400 more than 14 nights at Pop. And yes, that's £400 we could have put towards meals. But we really like the look of Coronado, and after our last chat about it, we really want to go there.
It was no criticism, Jill. It was no criticism. No, I was just making a slightly facetious point. Is actually the offer that probably isn't a great offer is making even the hard and fastest of Disney fans reevaluate their plans and give Mr. Chapek a bit more cash. Whether that be an upgrade, whether that be a few more nights,
whether that be we want Tron built quicker.
It's what 100% they did with me.
If I give you more money, will it be finished by the time we go?
It's a better deal for you though, Simon, because you're on your own.
Yeah. One, it's a better deal for me. But they totally, I would, you know me, I'm a value queen. I love staying at Pop. But that celebratory gift basket, just even though it's only like $100 worth of stuff in it, but like,
is there something in it? I thought it was just a basket.
No, what?
It's a basket full of chicken nuggets.
Yeah,
I love it then.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, so
it's got something signed by Tom Holland.
I wish.
I think that's a key part to all of the arm twisting in this, and I know if anyone is listening to the podcast and has not watched our Wednesday night Wednesday waffle shows, we've actually been talking about all these resorts, and I remember when we were talking about talking about Coronado, and we ended up I think through all the shows, we've ended up costing people a whole lot more money.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
So if
Not
Mr.
just us.
K-Fek is listening to us, do you know, we're subliminally
We'll take a
advertising
percentage.
for you all the time, young man. So yeah,
We will take a sponsorship.
absolutely. My last line on this, and again, it comes back to food, and I know it's a subject close to our heart, but we've got a lot of people who listen to the show from the United States. Now they get different offers, they have different ways of selling, of enjoying their holiday either on site or off site. I just wonder, is this an opportunity where Disney can actually realign some of their hotel and in-park dining costs to being a little bit more realistic with what's available off-site? I know the answer. I know Sammy's shaking her head, but I think there needs to be, because if you don't have any of the dining, I said it last month, it becomes totally unaffordable to pay out of pocket for some really lovely food, but you can get similar food in different places off-site for half of the price. And that's the issue I have, and I really hope for those in the US, those in the US who are going to celebrate their holidays, they have that opportunity to actually, that they paid far too much money for Disney food for far too long, and I think that for me is something.
I think you're right. I think it's a case of it's horses for courses, isn't it? And this is the thing, that the offer is there if it suits your holiday type, if it suits you as a family. I'm aware that there are people who've actually booked 2 rooms rather than 1, rather than everyone squeezing into one accommodation. They've gone down a level and then booked 2 rooms, because you actually get double the dining discount.
Now we're talking, Claire. So
rather than all cramming into a 2-room, actually you then make it a more effective use of the money. And I think that there's lots of number crunching happening on behind the scenes for most people who are considering using this discount. But the bottom line is, if you're going to stay in Disney and you're going to eat in Disney all the time, and that's your normal vacation type, and that's what you were going to book regardless, because everyone's desperate to get back there, then take it for what it is, enjoy it, have a drink, have something to eat, and there's no requirements to use it in a certain way. It's just a credit that you can use on alcohol. You can buy $950 worth of Grey Goose slushies if you wish to give your liver a insult for the.
What do you do on day 2, Claire?
I was thinking that's drinking round the world taken care of.
Yeah. Well, for one day, we'd knock that out the park in a night, John. Or buy $950 worth of nuggets. It's completely up to you, but don't think that it's gonna cover your holiday dining. It might cover your gratuities, and probably that's about it.
Yeah.
Or look at it another way. That and maybe the $200 gift card will maybe cover a couple of days at Universal.
Yeah.
I'm doing a half and half anyway, so.
I mean, I like the flexibility, I have to say, as well, because, as you said, it means you can have appetizers, it means you can share food, it means you can go to lounges, all the sort of things that you couldn't do.
I'm wondering whether it's just made it a bit more simpler. Instead of having various different dining packages, having like a discount or
a credit
to your room makes a lot of difference.
And like Claire said, I totally agree with the fact that I think it's probably a better deal for couples or soloers than it is for like a larger family, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
But
and
I don't feed my kids when
I
we're away.
don't think is very fair. Actually, I don't think it's very fair that families and larger families are going to be penalised for having families and being families over singles and couples, because they're already having to spend more on tickets and food anyway.
I think we've also got to remember Disney is a business. And they're in it for making money. All of these deals that they've had over the past decade or even before have always got to help their bottom line.
Yeah, they're not giving you anything
for free.
No.
When you think the amount of money Disney has lost because of park closures, they've got to claw it back one way or another. And with capacity increasing, a lot of things are starting to return to normal. And like Pete and Jill, you've improved your trip because of this offer. And also gives you the benefit because you know that Skyliner is going to be closed during your first part of your trip.
Yes.
It was another thing that
was
just
another factor, I have to say. Yeah.
Then that's great, and that works for you. And I think you'll have an amazing trip, and
You
you'll
will.
enjoy.
Colorado's
And you know,
right.
if you choose to use $400 of it at Victoria and Albert's, then I hope you have a fantastic meal.
100%.
And we look forward to seeing the pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. If you could vlog it for us, that would be great. We can put it on our exclusive.
Yeah,
We'll just
warm
put a GoPro
up
Peter's head.
Coronado for me.
Conversely, of
warn
course,
them.
we can go back and listen to a previous waffle and make notes of some nice off-site dining options to eke that money out a little bit further.
Yeah. Okay. Carrying on with our new feature, Come Disney with Me. So in this section, each month, one waffler will present 3 of their favourite Disney park things and ask the team to mark specific elements of the experience out of 10. So after all the scores are collated and averaged out, we'll have a brilliant leaderboard of our favourite ways to spend our time and our money. Each month, one person will present a ride or attraction, a restaurant or food or drink location, an experience, show or parade. So the criteria for grading are as follows. Rides, it's the queue line, the ride vehicle, and the overall theme immersion. Restaurant is the menu choices, the value for money, and the theming of the location. And experience is the accessibility, so time and venue, the experience length, and the audio. So last month, Claire presented her 3 favourite Disney Parks things, and her choices scored very high on our leaderboard. If you're watching on our YouTube channel, you'll be able to see it. And if you're listening to the podcast, make sure you visit our website at gbmickeywaffle.com to see where your favourites stack up. As I'm the host of this month, I've taken on the challenge for Come Disney with me. So I've chosen a ride, a restaurant, and a show. So for my choice of ride, I've gone for Flight of Passage. So the e-ticket attraction in Pandora, World of Avatar. I had to think long and hard about this one because there are a few people who say it's not worth the lengthy queue when it does reach up to 5 hours, sometimes, maybe longer. And I'd recommend giving the standby queue a go when it's either first thing in the morning or late at night, because we've done it and it's been half an hour, 90 minutes. And it's nice to walk through the queue. So if you do happen to be in the standby queue, there is so much detail as the outside portion. You get to look up and admire the floating mountains from various angles and capture some pictures that Colin Kendall would be proud of. Once you get inside, some of the queue has an industrial feel when you get close to the pre-show. But as you walk through the undergrowth and into the lab area, you get to have a closer look at one of the most amazing animatronics, the Na'vi. So I'll include a picture on our show notes. So, now, do we class the pre-show as part of the queue? As the backstory just adds to the experience of the ride and gets you ready for your ride on the back of a Banshee. Once you enter the pre-show area, you'll be given a number to stand on, and this is your link chair. So the link chair is unique in Flight of Passage as you're on an attraction. It feels like you're on a motorbike, which breathes, which just adds to the realism of what be riding on the back of a winged animal. You have handlebars in front of you to hold on with a small LED display with a reading of when you have been linked to your Na'vi and the flight will begin. So there's several mechanisms that fit on the back and side. So on your back and legs are secure. So there is a test seat outside the queue, so you test it before you ride. So with the attraction, it uses technology from Soarin', with amazing visuals and aromas. The ride really is immersive and thoroughly enjoyable. The wind in your face as you fly and dive through the breathtaking scenery of Pandora. The movements of the seat are in sync with the screen, which for a lot of us helps reduce the motion sickness. All the little details are hidden in the attraction, and even handprints you can find in the exit from James Cameron, John Landau, and Joe Rohde. So what would you rate this one, Sammy?
Why
You've got
me?
the queue
Okay.
line, you've
Okay.
got the queue line, ride vehicle, and overall immersion.
Okay. So I haven't done the full queue. I've only done the fast pass queue, but I'm very well aware of kind of what goes on in the queue. And then obviously I've done the pre-show. So, and it's great, isn't it? Really, it's fab, especially the pre-show. The pre-show stuff is really good. So I think I'm gonna have to give it an 8. Okay, for the queue. The ride vehicle is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Although I I think the breathing aspect, I feel like it could have been better. I feel like it could have been more exaggerated, but I get that there's obviously probably reasons why they didn't do it like that. So I think I'm going to give the ride vehicle an 8 as well. And for the overall theme and immersion, yeah.
Yep, overall immersion.
It's hard for me to like do this unbiasedly because I don't. It's not that I don't not like it. I just think it was very overhyped to me personally. I felt like the visuals were very blurry and weren't crystal clear. Like I wanted them to be more clear. But you can't fault that the ride is amazing and all the stuff that everyone says about it is true. It is a great ride. So I think I'm going to have to give the overall theme and immersion an 8 as well.
So we've got John keeping score, haven't we?
Just nod.
Absolutely.
Yep.
He's on it.
It's what I'm here for. I've got one job. One job.
Go on then, Claire. What's your score?
Flight of Passage. So similarly to Sammy, I have not done the full queue line. I've only done the fast pass line, and I know I've been told so many times that I've got it wrong. I know. So I can't comment on the bit with the Navi and the outside area. I think the industrial zone, it felt a bit like the bit of the Crystal Maze. It was a bit strange. The pre-show, however, I think when you've done it once, you've probably done it enough. It's quite protracted, but I think it sets it up very well. So I think had you spent 5 hours in the queue, the length of that pre-show, it gives you, the payoff is reasonable, to be fair. I think the queue line for me, I'd give it maybe a 6, just because I can't comment on the full queue line, but I think the fast pass queue, there isn't really anything to do. So you end up playing on your phone or chatting, and that annoys me until you get.
Yeah, where the fast pass queue brings you out, it's like right in the industrial bit. You've missed all the other bits that lead
exactly
onto it.
Yeah, so for the fast pass queue alone, I'm going to give it a 6. Okay. In terms of ride vehicle, I think this is really unique. There isn't really another ride vehicle like this in Walt Disney World at all. I'm trying to think if there's anything at Universal, possibly New Hagrid's motorcycle, but I haven't ridden that. So I think that it is completely different to any other ride vehicle. I actually found it extremely comfortable. It was fun to sit on the back of a Banshee. It was cool. I liked the breathing element of it, and it did feel like you were. You sort of felt in control of it. It didn't feel like you were in any way precarious, and I think the uniqueness of it is special. So I'm going to give the ride vehicle an 8. I think the benefit of Flight of Passage is the immersion. There are very, very few attractions that actually make me feel emotional. And the first time I rode Flight of Passage, I was a wreck. It really did make me feel incredibly emotional. I have no qualms in saying that I was in tears at the end of it. Just the feeling of the swooping and the soaring. And I don't like heights, but I just thought it was incredible. The smells, the spray, the whole fact that you are oblivious to the fact that there are lines and lines and lines of other guests doing this. Whereas I think in some of the other big mass simulators, there are visuals either above, below, or beside you where you see that. And in Flight Passage, you just don't see that. You just see in front of you because there's so much going on and it's so fast moving. So for overall immersion, I'm going to give it a 9.
It's a very high score. I love that. How about you, Jill?
Well, I've not done it yet, and I'm not really sure whether I'm going to, because I'm not really sure partly where it fits in the whole wimp ride category, and also because for those of us who are more Baymax than Baywatch, it's perhaps a slightly tight fit. So I don't know. I will obviously have to use my knowledge of videos that I've seen to rank it, and fast pass the normal queue, I have to say it looks okay, but I would find it very difficult to stand there for any length of time. So I'm going to give the queue maybe a 5, because I don't wait that long for anything, frankly. I don't think any sort of stuff they put in the queue is worth more than an hour's wait. For the ride vehicle, yeah, it looks great. It looks fantastic. It's definitely unique. So I will give that a 9 and just hope that I can fit into it. And overall immersion, yeah, I mean, from everything I've read and seen, yeah, it's just incredible. So yeah, I will go with 9 for that.
How about you, Peter?
Okay, well, as I haven't done this ride, as you can probably guess, because we haven't been for ages. So again, I'm going on videos. I think the queue line, you have to be there to experience it. Well, you can't really properly experience it through a video camera. So I would like to reserve judgment, but I have to give it a mark. I'll give it a 7. The pre-show looks fun. That looks really good. The seat itself, the nearest I've come across to it is riding one of those disc spinning rides, like Cobra at Chessington or Airbender at Blackpool, Pleasure Beach.
Okay.
That's, you sit with handlebars in front of you, it comes up and it sits you in your back, and one of them does your feet. Yeah, so it's a similar, maybe not quite the same. So I've kind of had some experience with that, and I felt really safe in doing them both. So I'm going to give that a 9. And the full immersion looks fantastic. It looks wonderful. Yep, I'm going to give it a 9.
Okay. Who've we got left? Would you like to go next, Becca?
If you want me to. Yeah. Queue line. The queue line, having done, I think the most we waited was an hour and a half in the main queue line. It can feel like it goes a little bit slow at times, but it is incredibly pretty in the, I'm going to call it the plant area, and the outside area are both gorgeous. The animatronic, if I can get my words out, for the Navi and the lab area is really quite cool. There's a lot of little hidden details in there. If you look at the posters and things on the walls, it'll have lists of creatures that are in Pandora and things like that. So those little details are quite good. So overall, I think I'm going to give that an 8. The ride vehicle is, like everyone else has said, it's very unique. So I'm going to give that a 9. I don't really think I can add anything else to that. Overall immersion, there is a feeling of wow, oh my god, awe when you come off of that ride, especially the first time, but every other time I've ridden it as well. And when I'm sitting in that seat before it starts, I'm always a little bit nervous. I don't know why. I think it's just because I know I'm not on the ground, weirdly, even though I am, sort of. It's a weird thing because, like Claire, I'm not a big fan of heights, so it always makes me a little bit nervous. But that feeling while you're on it and when you come off makes those nerves worth it. So I'm going to give the overall immersion a 9 as well.
I think I've talked about this ride before, Ben, and I'm struggling because I know on the last show I tended to be the person who sort of went over the top on the marking system, just because I love so many different things at Walt Disney World. This is possibly in my top 2 rides in the whole of the place, and I've been asked quite a few times. There's days where it gets to number 1. There's days when it's not number 1. It's got everything for me. It's just got that whole sort of, the whole thing. It's just from the minute you walk into, even before you get past the tap style and in the actual general queue, you know, it's worth every minute of queue timing. It changes significantly. So as Becca said, the outdoor bit is such that you've got an opportunity to get some incredible photographs. But when you start to get into the inside part of the standby queue, it changes and the mood changes at the same time as well. And you are moving quite slowly at times, but the anticipation rises. And as that part where you go from outdoor to indoor and your eyes become in a way sort of adjusted to the detail of the bioluminescence that's on the floor and on some of the indoor planting. And then you get towards, they're very clever, because actually probably the last half an hour of the queue is the most incredible part of it. And it would be a shame in years to come if it became similar to the fast pass queue, where you just basically got to the ramp and then you went in the different doors. It's such a fabulous place to go and see some of the books that are on the shelves within the lab. I've got the same author as Dr. Jackie Ogden that you see in the film prior to actually getting into the ride. That's the level to which they've actually thought of the detailing in it. It's absolutely incredible. I love the queue. Yes, it's too long, and for that, I'm possibly going to take 1 mark off, just because I'm fussy and I don't like queuing up. But you have to do the standby queue, and I think Claire and I have had this conversation many a time. The fast pass queue, for as much as you love a fast pass, the fast pass queue just doesn't do it justice, and it's really bizarre, because it's one of the few fast pass queues that actually just totally leaves the part of the story out of it. So for the queue line, I'm going for a 9. The ride vehicle, as others have said, the technology is just so good. The technology is just something of a totally different level. To feel your Banshee breathing and to actually to just experience the whole thing is just, I think for the next 2, I'd need to describe them both together, because you go on that ride and you just come off with the biggest and the most amazing smile on your face. And it just like that feeling of total exhilaration. I think Becca usually used the word awe. And I can't think of anything else to add to that. It's just like you go to a theme park and I don't think of any other theme park I've ever been to and actually been on a ride like that, where you walk off and your first instinct is like, I want to go and queue for 4 hours again, which is completely stupid because I would never do it. But it's the frustration. And I think that's why if you get in the park very early for opening, or you're there late at night and you can bypass the lengthy queue times, it's amazing. And I've been very fortunate, and as a family, we've been fortunate. We've managed to pick up a lot of rides on this, and it's the one ride, certainly with Animal Kingdom, that we just can't wait to go back and revisit. I think we snuck a couple of sneaky sort of pictures on a phone just to try and remember it. I'm not a great one for looking at sort of full ride video, because I think it doesn't capture the whole thing. But just looking back on a couple of pictures that we've got, and it's just like, I just want to be back there, and I want to be riding that. I want to be riding Flight of Passage again. It's amazing, and I give the ride vehicle a 10, the immersion a 10, and it is just amazing. And I'm going to leave everyone else hanging and thinking, what's the other ride? Because that's another one for another time. But for Flight of Passage, that's my scores.
So it's just me to give my score now, isn't it?
It is.
Well, it's the queue line. I personally think, as we've done both the fast pass and the standby, if you can get a standby at a reasonable time, I'm going to give it a 8. I think there's enough in there that will keep you occupied. I'd probably say I'd queue 2 hours to do the attraction, and with enough in the queue line to keep me occupied, obviously with my phone as well. The ride vehicle, there isn't much like it. I think John's right. There's nothing else similar to it in Walt Disney World. Universal is probably Hagrid is the closest.
Hagrid is on a track though.
Yeah, but I mean the ride vehicle, the way it makes you feel when you're sort of on a motorbike, when you hold on like handlebars in front, it's probably going to be very similar to what you're going to get on Tron. That's going to be the similar sort of ride vehicle. So I'm going to give the ride vehicle, as it's so unique to Walt Disney World, I'm going to give it a 10. I think it's one that I feel comfortable, safe, and secure, which is what you want from a ride vehicle, on top of it breathing as well, which just
It's always pretty cool.
increases that immersion even more. And going for overall immersion, the smells, the screen, it's just, I don't know. I think it's one of those attractions that I will queue over and over again for, even though I'm told, no, we can't go and join a 2-hour queue.
I have my limits, you know.
Well, you do, but I'll happily go on Flight of Passage again. I have to admit, the first time I went on Flight of Passage, you didn't go on because this was on. You chickened out. We were there during the DVC tour, and it broke down about 5 times. So the doors kept opening to go into the pre-show, and it wasn't the ride that was breaking down; it was the pre-show bit.
Didn't matter. Freaked me out enough that.
So 8 people were going in, then 8 people were coming. The same 8 people were coming back out, and it was. But I thought I've queued in this for about an hour and a half, and it was like I'm doing this queue, I'm doing this ride, and it was the best
into
thing.
the seat.
You got into the seat, it all clicked in place, and you went, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
But the next time we went, you loved it.
Done it since then.
Oh yeah, I've done it loads of times since then.
Yeah.
So what did you give it then? A 15 for immersion?
I'm going to go 10 for overall immersion. Just because
Makes sense.
The amount of wax melts I've had to buy after, which I didn't actually fly, and it's just, yeah.
This is true.
Yeah. Just so I can imagine them on the ride. I need I have set up a fan here, so there's wind, get like a little bike. That'd be brilliant. The other ride that I was thinking the same thing. I think that's
Becky, you have to get one of those fans. You know, the ones with the spritz in it. You just stand in front of it with a fan going to spritz and wave the wax melt at him while he's on it. Play the soundtrack.
Oh, I love that.
Thank you, Ben.
Right, so scores on the doors. 4, Flight of Passage. And strangely enough, I've got to say, it's such an amazing ride. And it's one of those that I think a lot of us would keep going back to. The overall immersion, we've got an average of 9. Ride vehicle, a 9. We've also got a check on my maths as well for the queue line. We've got for the queue line, an average of 7, but final score of 59 for Flight of Passage, which is, I think, is a worthy.
If my memory serves me correct, that puts it in 2nd place after Katsura Grill.
Yeah, but it's also it's ahead of Jungle Cruise from last month as well, which is fab.
Nice. Really interesting. So, well, now we've all returned to Earth from Pandora, we're going to go and head over to Disney Springs for some lunch.
Good, because I'm peckish.
My choice of lunch is a counter service option, which I think has a great menu, even for the most pickiest of eaters, unless your diet just consists of chicken nuggets, and it's great value too.
I think you'll find something you like here, Sammy.
If not, it's not far from Chicken Guy, so you'll be fine. It is Blaze Pizza, which is located in the town centre area of Disney Springs. So they use a similar layout to Subway, where it's like an assembly line, so you can choose your base, you choose your sauce, followed by all the toppings that you want. There are more than 40 toppings to choose from. And the 11-inch pizzas are ready in just over 3 minutes. You're not waiting long for your pizza, even though when you're hungry, it feels a bit longer than that. So you can choose to sit inside or outside. Sitting outside does give you the opportunity of some of the amazing waterfront at Disney Springs. The building has been made to resemble a sawmill from the mid-1800s. It's been refurbished and to fit in with the theming and the story of Disney Springs. So from the options on the menu, from building your own pizza to choosing a list of signature pizzas, there's a lot of choice. You can add side salad if you want to. There are donuts and desserts if you want to. That's a difficult thing to say. It sounds like donuts. Okay.
Oh, donuts.
Yeah, not donuts.
Knots of dough.
Knots of dough.
Exactly.
The criteria for food is menu choice, value for money, and theming.
Okay, so I don't like pizza.
Well, this is going to go well.
Eject her. Just kick her out.
No, I don't like
I'm
pizza.
done messing around with this.
Sorry.
Wow.
Wow.
And Sammy's
Seriously,
gone
how do you
from
not
the,
like
Sammy's
pizza?
gone from the show.
I'm going to give zeros all round now, right? Can I?
Oh.
No, so I couldn't I've never been in, obviously, because like I don't like pizza, but I've looked to see if I can find the make your own ones, and I can't find what the options are anywhere. Like I can't. So like I don't know if I could build one that I do like.
The only thing I haven't seen on there is chicken nuggets.
They do can put chicken on it though.
Yes.
They do breaded chicken.
And they do like different bases. They do like I think they do a garlic base or something like that. So like I could do that hypothetically, but I couldn't find actually anywhere online that it would actually tell me what I could make. So I could eat the dough balls. That's about it. So what is it like? What's the criteria again? Sorry.
So menu choice.
So menu choice, we're going to give it a solid 5.
Yeah. Value for money.
It looks like pretty good value for money. Like I said, I've not seen like what size the pizzas are. Well,
11 inches.
I kind of have. They're pretty decent. So for value for money, I'll go in Disney like terms, probably like an 8. Like I think it's pretty good value. And then for like it's the look like how it looks, isn't it?
Theming locations.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It looks really nice. It seems like there's a big patio like out the back and stuff where you can kind of sit on the water. The inside looks pretty nice, so I think I'll give that a 7.
So I do like pizza. I think for Blaze, for a menu choice option, there is so much variety. You can really create anything you want, from a basic margarita with just cheese and tomato to anything. You can have every single topping in the place if you want. There's no limit to the toppings that you can add. And I think when you look at the different crusts, so you can have a cauliflower crust, you have a keto crust, you can have a gluten-free dough. I think if you're someone who's got a dietary requirement, there are lots of options there. If you're celiac or you're actually just on a healthy keto diet, and you can go there and you can have something that's not going to interrupt that. So I think that's incredible at the price point that it is, which often you pay extra for if you're looking for a special diet. So I think in terms of menu choices, the ability to go in and just create exactly what you want is brilliant for kids, because they can pick and choose and they can have that but not that. And that's, sometimes you're doing, can you have this but hold that bit and put that bit on, and can you switch this and that? And that gets frustrating for everyone, including parents. I think that the salads are pretty good value. They're very good. The dressing in the Caesar salad was very, very good. And I think the drinks, the beverages, the aqua frescas that they have on the drinks bar are fab as well. And it's unlimited beverages, so you just get the cup and you help yourself. So I think for menu, for me, yes, it's all pizza. I'm going to give it an 8 because I think it's pizza and then a bit more for me. In terms of price point, I think in Disney Springs it's pretty incredible. There's very few places that you're going to get a full meal that we can't finish them. We've never finished if we all have a pizza each, you're coming out with $45, maybe $50 with with a drink each or a water for a couple of people, of food that you can't finish. It's then what do you do with it? You can just get a box and they give it to you. You can collect a box from the top and take it away. I think the value for money is pretty incredible. I'm going to give it an 8 compared to quite a lot of the other places around there. And in terms of theming, though, that's the bit that I find a bit disappointing. It feels fairly functional. It doesn't feel particularly well themed. There's some beautiful views from the patio outside, but the seating inside is not particularly plentiful. And outside is a bit of a sun trap, so you kind of melt while you're eating. There are not restrooms in the restaurant; they're outside to the right of the restaurant. So if you've got kids who need to go to the loo halfway through the meal, then you've got to leave everything and go out of the restaurant, which isn't ideal. So I'm going to take a point off for that. So I'm going to give it probably a 5 for theming.
How about you, Jill?
Well, I've not eaten there, but I do like pizza. And I do like the fact that it's not just the same old toppings. It does seem to be a huge wide variety. So I'm going to say for menu choice, I will give it an 8. My only problem is that with those, I end up sort of boggling at the amount of choice and end up just going for one of the ones that are suggested on the menu, these type of places, because I'm just going, too much choice. But I do like the fact that you have all these options. So yeah, I'll give it an 8 for that. For value for money, yeah, I mean, Disney Springs is not a cheap place to go. Disney generally is not a cheap place to go, but Disney Springs has a lot of very expensive places to eat. So it's really good to see somewhere that is fast and casual and in Disney terms, not too expensive. So I will likewise give that an 8. Can't really comment on the decor much as I've only seen pictures and videos and so on. It strikes me as okay, not somewhere I'm rushing to just for the decor. So I will give that a 7.
How about you, Peter?
Cool. Well, yes, I like pizza, and I proved this by standing in the rain in Naples, eating Neapolitan pizza. So yes, I like pizza. Believe me, it was chucking it down. But okay, the choice is fantastic. I like the different choices of base. A good Italian pizza chef will tell you to have your margherita and then no more than 2, maximum 3 other toppings, which gives it a nice balance. But you have so much choice that it makes those 3 toppings really interesting. So I'd give that a 9 because it looks really it's good. Sorry, what was the second one?
Value for money.
Yeah, with my Mickey-shaped glasses on, yes, it's value for money. It's good value for money, so I give that an 8. And ambiance. Sometimes it's nice to go somewhere that's not too themed. Sometimes you just want to go somewhere that is just comfortable, and yeah. So I'll give it an 8 for theming.
How about you, Becca?
Menu choices is brilliant. There is so much availability and choice of toppings and of bases, and there's quite a good variety of drinks as well there. They've got your normal sodas and whatnots, but they've got a couple of nice lemonades and things there as well. So it's nice to have something a little bit different there. So I'm going to go with a 9 for the menu choices. Value for money. Now, I know no one's actually said how much it costs yet. We'll just say everyone's all been saying it is good value for Disney prices. Well, I think it's good value for takeaway pizza prices in general, because you're looking at an 11-inch pizza for about $10, which if you're going to share that, that's $5 each, if there's 2 of you. So
that's the same price as in a supermarket. You know, you're not going to pick up an 11-inch pizza in Publix or Walmart for that. So
yeah, absolutely.
So I think the value for money is actually brilliant at Blaze Pizza, especially when you consider that you're making something from scratch with fresh ingredients, how you want it. So I'm actually going to give the value for money a 10. I think it's that very good. The theming, on the other hand, does let it down. It's a bit dull and boring. The view outside is beautiful, so I will bump up it a little bit for that. So I'm going to give the theming a 6.
How about you, John?
Yeah, interesting one for Blaze, I've got to say. And the menu, if you're a pizza lover, is magnificent. And while you guys have actually been giving your scores, I've been busy online. So at present, if someone can get down to Disney Springs, I'm just about to order $30 worth of food. And actually, the choice, if you're a pizza fan, is quite amazing. And to go to the degree of what you actually are going to get. And you did put me off at the start, Ben, when you described it as a bit like Subway, because I detest going to Subway because it's just like it's like, do you want this? It's too many questions for me. It's just like, I go for a sandwich. That's about it. But this appears to be, it's not more on your terms, and it's more to the extent you can choose the different types of cheese that you want, the different meat or vegetables that you want on your pizza, and also what you want to finish it off. So, to the extent at which, I think, Claire, you said about, when you've got kids and they're wanting to swap out different stuff, it becomes a bit of a pain when you're in a restaurant and actually doing that. That flexibility, you get to choose the sauce that you want on there. So you can actually have a spicy red sauce or just normal red sauce, or garlic pesto sauce if you don't really like your family and you want to sort of be that person in the queue line that no one wants to be stood anywhere.
Is that the person on the monorail?
Yeah. But it's only pizza, and I think I can't get over that. But
what?
Well, it's only pizza. Come on, you've got to have a choice of different things, haven't you? So I think it's limited on that front, Peter.
Pizza is
but
it's created with love, and it's
a pizza. It's a pizza.
It's Italian sandwich.
Really good pizza, though.
That's all it is. Yeah. It's an Italian sandwich.
It's a pizza, and I'm going to give it the menu. I'm going to give an 8. The value for money, however, and looking back on last month when we mentioned about Katsura Grill, which is I thought was excellent value for money. Like I said, I'm sitting here and I'm only paying $30 for 2 pizzas and the donuts of the garlic variety, not the Homer Simpson variety. And I actually think that is crazy, really, considering where Blaze is situated, and actually some of the other, even some of the local pizza places in sort of the off-site areas as well can't actually touch on that. I've got to give that a 10. I really do. And I go with Claire's explanation as well about the theming, because actually the theming itself is the one thing that kind of lets it down. The outside of it, and admittedly, Disney Springs has just completely reinvented itself over, certainly over the past 7-8 years. And I just think they could have done that little bit more to just make this that little bit more sort of immersive, and they missed a chance. And also the fact that the restrooms are not within handy distance of the restaurant, and I think that's a big thing when you're there as a family, because actually it does then involve an adult and child, or adult and 2 children, and then you end up as Billy No Mates trying to eat whatever's
yeah,
in
and
front.
Someone else has cold food. It's a bit of
I don't know. I just thought that was a surprise to me when I think as a restaurant, and I think even in the UK, you look at places that you're going to eat, you really don't want to be, it's like going out for a pub lunch or something and being expected to go to the bottom end of the car park to go to the loo or something like that. It's the only way I can think of it. It's just not. It's not. I don't know. It's not what you expect of a restaurant of this quality, and I think that's a bit of a shame. So I'm going to go for theming. I'm going to go with Claire. I'm going to agree on a 5.
Okay. So I think the menu choice is very good. Obviously, if you like pizza. If you don't like pizza, the good thing is you're not far from Chicken Guy and you're not far from Deluxe Burger. So you do have your choice being in sort of that location. But going back to the menu, just having, like I said, it's an assembly line. So you get to just walk along and pick what you want. It just fits just with everything. So for menu choice, I'm going to give it an 8. So yeah, so my menu choice, as I was an 8. Value for money, it's got to be a 10. I think I don't think you can get a meal for such good value in Disney Springs. I think that's probably the best value meal. Even Deluxe Burger and Chicken Guy, from what I've seen, is more expensive for what you get. And theming does let it down a little bit, but I'd sort of like theming. I think it's just something different. It's I'm going to go for a 7. I think it's sitting outside, even though it is warm. you get the choice indoors whether you get the air conditioning, but sometimes I find that too cold. So it's
You can't win.
I know.
Sit half in, half out.
Just just position the chair like in the doorway.
doorway.
So I'm just sitting here. That sounds perfect. So yeah. So John, have you got the scores?
Okay, so the average score for the menu is an 8, value for money a 9, and the theming a 6. So the final score for Blaze Pizza is 54.
Oh,
which
still good.
Which I think at the end of all of this will end up being a really good score, and I think that goes on it goes on its value for money, and it's. I think that'll be the one where we'll actually tell in months to come exactly where it comes out in the wash.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing this leaderboard once we've all had a go at this. It's going to be really
good. Yeah, I am. It's fascinating to see, and actually, it doesn't matter if people have got different experiences of it. I think we've all been in places that we'll all be in different places, but it's an opportunity to actually make something of it. So Ben, your final one.
I know. So now we've spent our $200 gift cards at Disney Springs. I think we just head it over to one of my favorite nighttime shows at Walt Disney World. So we're going to need some imagination for this. PM, sometimes both during the summer months, and I can't wait for its return. Hopefully later this year. I really hope so.
I think its return is sooner rather than later, which is brilliant news.
Yeah, I think with the sort of the layout of the sort of the theatre, I think if for social distancing, I think it's something it may be one of the first nighttime shows to come back.
I think so. Yeah.
It's with Phantasmic, you've got the amazing score, the lighting, order effects, great use of the effects, and a live action and projections. But to top it all off, you've got a 50-foot tall fire breathing dragon. What's not to like? And also that dragon is not your mother-in-law. So maybe the seating could be a bit more comfortable, especially as you're in the amphitheatre for half an hour before the show. And there's some great pre-show music, which includes songs like Kiss the Girl and Cruella de Vil. So the show runs for 30 minutes. So the voting is on accessibility, length, and audio. So, Sammy, it's your turn.
It's me. So I've only ever seen Phantasmic once. So, and I really enjoyed it. But it's kind of hard to remember all the bits, but I remember I enjoyed it. So let me think. 2 seconds. Oh, accessibility. So I feel like it's pretty accessible, I think. I don't how are we scoring accessible again? Like what is we taking into account from it?
Was it time? Like length?
Yeah, is it suitable for the family? Is it suitable for people that want to see it,
Okay. Yeah, I feel like it's pretty accessible. It is quite late at night. Like it's like park closing or something, isn't it? Yeah. Around that time. So I think maybe for like younger kids, it wouldn't be as accessible. But I think for everyone else, it's pretty accessible. It's kind of easy to find, easy to get to, and it kind of has a lot of different things for people to enjoy. There's a bit of fireworks, there's a bit of this, there's a bit of that. So I think for accessibility, I would give it an 8. And then for the length, I think it's a great length. It's not too long, but it's not like a super short either. I think it's around, correct me if I'm wrong, like 20 minutes?
30 minutes.
30? Okay.
It's actually it's half an hour.
Yeah, I thought it was half an hour, but then I was like, no, surely it's not. But yeah, I remember the length was fine. I don't remember me wanting it to end, or like being bored. I was really entertained throughout the whole thing. So I think for length, we're going to give it another 8. I'm having there's a lot of 8s today. And then for audio, I mean, the tunes are just iconic. So for audio, we're definitely going for a 9.
Okay. How about you, Claire?
So I have never seen Phantasmic.
Is this why I need to take you out the stream?
I
For
know.
shame!
John, I'm so sorry.
Claire!
Do you know what? I know. And that, this is a bit of an I know this is a bit of an issue for me because I have watched it on social media, or on YouTube and stuff, and I've tried to avoid doing that as much as possible because I want to see it in person for the first time. But I have seen the show all the way through, and I've seen elements of it multiple times. Mainly that bit where Dopey falls over. But I think the accessibility of it is one of the issues that's meant that we haven't seen it, because it is later in the evening, and when we've been there and Millie's been quite small, then it's just too late in the evening to be able to keep her awake and keep her going, that we don't have a cranky child all the way through it. So that, for me, the accessibility is one of the things that has prevented us from seeing it, probably. Saying that, I think that for 80% of the people that are visiting, it's probably fine. But I think if you've got a child maybe under 3, maybe under 4, it could be a bit more challenging to carve that time in your day and make sure that everyone's fed and watered and rested in order to enjoy it without screaming going on. So for me, the accessibility, I'm going to give it a 7, just because I think that there are potentially a group of the guest population that might find it more difficult. In terms of length, I think 30 minutes is a great time, because at that point in the day, let's face it, everyone just wants to sit down, don't they? So 30 minutes show time plus your 45 minutes waiting beforehand. That's a good lengthy rest at the end of a day when your feet. So it's just long enough so that when you get up again, your feet really hurt and you've got to get to the exit. But I think any shorter than that, and you've queued for 45 minutes to find your seat, and I think I'd feel a bit annoyed, to be honest with you. If it's like 15 minutes long, I'd be like, "Are you serious? I've waited this long." So 30 minutes is a healthy time to be able to put that at the end of the day. So I think that's a good 8. And then in terms of audio, the audio is amazing. So whilst I've only watched it, through on YouTube a couple of times and bits of it, I have listened to the audio loads of times, and it is absolutely incredible. Very atmospheric, lots and lots of things in there for any Disney lovers. So I'm going to give the audio a 9, and I will go and see it next time we're there when it's on. I promise.
We'll drag you.
I think as well, Claire, it's one of those moments, like Sammy has to go and do the whole of Epcot next time. We need this totally vlogged on your next trip.
Yeah, I proof that only been.
Maybe we need a Wafflers checklist of stuff we've not done
evidence.
before.
Evidence,
and evidence to go with it.
Yeah, maybe so.
That's okay. I can use Photoshop for hours, or just put ourselves on someone else's body.
Use that thing on Teams or in Zoom where it puts you in the auditorium of Fantasmic. I'm there.
Perfect. How about you, Jill?
Yeah, I have seen it. I've seen it twice. Sorcerer Mickey is my boy. Love Sorcerer Mickey, so has to happen. Accessibility, I think it is a reasonable walk. If you've been in the park all day walking around, it's quite a reasonable walk, and there can be long queues. There are, however, ways to get around that. There are fast passes. There are dining packages, and there are also now snack packages that you can order food to have in your seats. So there are various ways to get around having to stand in a queue for ages. the first time we saw it, we got very cold. It was an extremely cold evening, and we got quite wet as well. The joke was we went to Universal the next day. We did Twister, and we actually got more wet at Fantasmic than we did at Twister. But the experience is great. Absolutely love the show. What was the second one? Sorry.
It was length.
Length, yeah. 30 minutes. It's, as has been said, it's not too short, not too long. You really don't want to spend ages waiting and preparing and doing all the stuff and then just have something that's over in a blink. It's a good, decent chunk of time. Also, the waiting time is not boring because you've got guys doing quizzes with you and Mexican waves and sing-alongs and all sorts of silly fun things. So you really don't have time to get bored. I'd say the length is fine. I'll give the length a 9. And audio, yeah. I mean, you've got all your classic songs. You've got great music. You've got some unexpected music as well. Pocahontas. What? Okay, fine. So, yeah, I'll give the music also a 9.
How about you, Peter?
Okay, accessibility. Jill lied. It's a long walk. It's a long walk from the entrance or right up to the theatre, but it's worth it. The seats are a little bit uncomfortable and can be quite cold because they're made of metal. So if you've got some kids who are very wriggly, it could be quite tricky with them. So I give accessibility an 8. The length of each section is fine.
Mm.
They very quickly move from one to the other. There are no small gaps. My only thing I would say is that the projections on the water could perhaps do with a bit updating. Hopefully they've done that while they're out because some of them are not as clear as you would want them to be. And audio's fine. Audio's clear. Audio, all the different songs are great. Everything works really well. And you will never, ever, ever forget Mickey going, "Some imagination, huh?" at the end.
Yeah.
And that's my mark. So
there's some amazing lines in that.
It is.
It's brilliant.
So I'm going to give that a 9.
For audio?
For audio.
What about length? I don't think you gave a score for length.
Did I give a score for length? What I did? No? No? Okay, well, length I'm going to give 10. It's a great length. Perfect length.
How about you, Becca?
It is a very long walk. From depending on where you are in the park as well. If you're all the way over in Galaxy's Edge, it's even longer. So it's a very long walk. And if you've got that walk with, a 3-4-year-old or even a 5-year-old, little legs are going to get very tired very quickly.
I would not have thought walking would have entered into accessibility in this.
Really? Because my next thought was actually there's stairs going down or up to the majority of those benches. Yeah. So while there are some benches that are specifically for those in wheelchairs and on scooters, they're not many and the view's not brilliant from those seats. You're quite far back. So I'm going to give accessibility and can I give a half point?
If you want to annoy John, yes.
I won't. I'll round it up. And I'll give it an 8. Just to be nice to John.
It doesn't matter. I can live with the half a point. It doesn't really matter. I think you're all right.
Let's go for whole numbers.
We'll go for whole numbers. I'll give it an 8. Length is really good. It's not too long, not too short. If it was any longer, I think you'd start to get a numb bum from those hard, uncomfortable metal seats. So I'm going to go for a 9 on the length. And the audio is brilliant. The songs and the choice of music really fit very well with the storyline. So I'm going to give that a 9 as well.
Okay. How about you, John?
Yeah, it's a strange one with accessibility. I've never actually thought of the walk previously, because if you're at Walt Disney World, I think, I'm used to walking either from the bottom of the car park or whatever, or from the other side of the park. I've not thought of that. The one thing I would have said was, for accessibility, is if you have very young children, there are elements of the show that are actually remarkably scary.
Yeah.
And I've watched younger children be very, very scared, because there is that element where you're not quite sure what's going to happen to Mickey. The actual, it goes back to the immersion of the actual show, and younger children are not, the scary parts of it are really sort of edge of the seat stuff. And even with my kids, certainly when Joe was very young, trying to explain to him that, don't worry, everything will be all right. Mickey always wins in the end. And spoiler alert, by the way. But for him, and at the time, he'd probably be about 3, and that actually was quite a big thing to actually have that recognition. And it's quite the music, the fire, the way that the show actually evolves. As an adult, it's highly engaging, but for a young child, it can be particularly disturbing. It's not quite as that clean cut Disney sort of bit for young kids, which is why I find it the most amazing show. And my eldest son is sat in the other room listening to what I'm saying. He doesn't know what I'm talking about because I've got these in, and he doesn't know we're talking about his very favourite show. And that's to the extent at which this sort of transcends ages. It transcends an awful lot of nighttime stuff at Disney. Fantasmic stands alone on, that theatre is unique. It's not like being a Magic Kingdom waiting for the parade to, the old-fashioned nighttime parade, by the way, for those people who wonder what I'm whittering on about. And it's not like waiting for a fireworks show. You make a judgment within your planning of your day that you're going to do Fantasmic. We've sat there in the rain and seen a thunderstorm come where it's been cancelled. But hey, that's another one to maybe make sure that you plan clear for when you do go and see it. Is do not leave it to the last night and think that's going to be your big end of holiday experience. We've learned from experience that you go and see it early in the holiday and then plan for later on to make sure you do it. So for accessibility, I'm going to go with an 8, just purely because of that scariness that's not made totally apparent for young children. But I still love the show. I really do. It breaks my heart to want to give it an 8. But hey, I'll go with 8 for that one. The experience length is another one, because actually by the time you've done 25 Mexican waves, and if you've got a cast member down the front who's trying to flog, them light things that really annoy me, and they really annoy my camera, because my camera seems to really, really enjoy sort of picking up the focus of that. But the cast member down the front, if they are at the top of their game, they actually make that wait time so enjoyable. The fact that you can go and have a beer, and the beer and the popcorn and the nachos actually adds to our nights of going to Fantasmic. The waiting time is more of it.
I was just like a meerkat then. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, you perched up quite well, didn't you?
Yeah.
In the queue, there are popcorn and cotton candy and snack stands.
Candy floss.
Candy floss. Cotton candy, same thing.
And you can get a beer while you're sat there.
And you can get a beer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they got a bar and
now I know why John likes it so much.
Exactly. It is actually one of those moments, when you've had a long park day and you're thinking, do you know something? Yeah, I could murder a beer. And it is lovely because you can actually just sit there and you just sort of, and it's that whole thing. It's warm. And I know Peter and Jill, you said about it being cold, and it is a different experience in December, I would hasten to add. But
Keeps
in
your ear cold
August,
if it's cold.
yeah, in August it's fabulous, and it's just like one of those ones where you just sit there, you just like, yeah. Actually, we have been that family that have walked out of the first show in a Fantasmic, and then decided to come straight back in for the second one because we love it that much. I'm gonna experience length. I'm gonna go with a 10, and for the audio again, I've got to go for a 10 for reasons everyone else has given. But it really does hit every single sense, and the fact that the audio is actually sort of enhanced in some ways by what you're watching. The fire, it becomes sort of totally all about the show. It's not about the music. It's not about what you're watching. It's everything, and that's why certainly for my eldest son, it is his most favourite one above anything. You know, as much as I'm a great lover of Illuminations, etc., this is the one that Fantasmic's his very favourite, and I can understand why it is for so many other people as well. So, yeah, an 8, a 10, and a 10 for me. What about you, Ben?
Oh, well, accessibility. I hadn't really thought about walking up to it and thinking walking is going to be on my list. More, I think walking out of it can be a difficult thing with Fantasmic.
Yes.
It's trying to leave when everyone else is trying to leave. Maybe it's worth sitting down for 20 minutes afterwards before you leave. But I think it's quite accessible. It's included in your park ticket. You don't have to. You can pay more if you want to. If you want the added benefits of having sort of dining packages and that. But I think it's quite accessible to most people. We've mentioned already about that it can be a little bit scary for young ones. But I'm going to go accessibility and give it a 9. So the length of it, I think if you include the show, it's 30 minutes on its own. But I think one of the best things is the pre-show. From When You're There, Mexican Wave, the amazing remix of Disney songs from the 90s is brilliant. It really is. And I just think it just gets you in the mood for the end of the day at Hollywood Studios. And then you've got an amazing show coming up. It's just the atmosphere is brilliant. And I think I'm going to give the length a 10. Because I don't think, like you said about it, the seats can be quite painful after half an hour. After sitting there, it's like, no, I don't. It's just, but the audio is going to get a 10 as well because it's brilliant. Really is. It's my favourite show in Walt Disney World. Even better than Happily Ever After.
Really?
Yep.
Ooh.
High praise, high praise.
Very high, especially as I know how much you like Happily Ever After.
Yes.
That's not a score high.
It's not a trip to Walt Disney World without doing Fantasmic.
No.
There is one thing about the show that's always confused me, though. When the boat comes around and you have all the characters on the boat waving and so on, all the good guys and so on, what's Brer Bear doing there?
I know.
It's like, how random can you get?
I still think the best thing is when Dopey fell on top of Goofy.
Oh my god. So funny.
Poor guy.
But yeah, Brer Bear just wanted to get involved, man.
Yeah.
The thing that was confused me was the Pocahontas bit in the middle. It felt like a nice intermission between the first bit and the second. It's like we thought we just must pick a film. It's the only thing that I find is slightly off. But
when it was first done, Pocahontas was the big release.
Yeah.
And remember, Pocahontas was supposed to be the big film. It was the one that they put the absolute best that they had on it. And then Lion King came along and blew it out the water.
That's true.
Yeah. And also, I have to say, if you ever get a chance to see on YouTube what Tokyo have done with Fantasmic, it's not running anymore. It's finished at Tokyo.
There's a slightly different version in California as well.
The Tokyo version is on the water, and they have a giant Mickey hat on the water, and it's absolutely beautiful.
So they could have used the Sorcerer's Hat from Hollywood Studios and just put it in.
Absolutely.
In the middle, yeah.
Can I just
I'm
add
not
as
sure
well?
it would fit.
Just before we get to the scores, can I just also add as well, because we've done this so many times, videoed it, taken photographs of it. The actual Imagineering and the actual magic that it takes from the boat to the top of the mountain to the stage is just mind blowing, and I really do. I really do take my hat off to whoever designed the actual show in the first instance, because it doesn't matter even if you're looking for trying to trip up magic, there's no sign of it, and we've looked, and it is done to such a high and professional level that it just flows seamlessly, and it is beautiful to watch. And going back to young kids as well, to see that look on children's faces when Mickey is Steamboat Willie on the boat, then you suddenly have Mickey at the top of the mountain, and then that moment when Mickey is on the stage, and then it's some imagination her, and it is just, even as an adult, it is just mind blowing, and it is just spine tingling. Even now, I'm just talking about it. It's just like, it is one of those moments that it would melt the hardest of hearts to actually not go and see that show and just be able to understand the Disney magic that evolves from all of it. It's amazing.
I think Fantasmic was probably one of our first nighttime shows.
I think it was the first time.
I think it was the first
nighttime show we saw.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that just reminds me of Disney at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, John, how are the scores looking?
Scores are really, really good for this. And I've got to say, accessibility, an average of 8. Experience length, an average of 9. Audio, an average of 9. Final score, which we will add to our leaderboard, puts it right up. And this is where it puts it right up there with Katsura Grill. It is a 61.
Ooh.
The final score, which takes it above the Boo to You parade from last month.
Oh wow!
So yeah. So again, just even just as an overall from this show, with Flight of Passage on 59, Blaze Pizza on 54, and Fantasmic on 61, I think we're beginning to see a little bit of a pattern. And once we put all this up in the Wafflers' arms, that sort of leaderboard, it's going to evolve. It's going to, people are going to look at it and they're probably going to steal our idea for all of this, because it actually is such a brilliant way of actually looking at so many different parts of Disney World. Yeah, really is, and I think this is where it gets really exciting, because next month it'll be someone else, and there'll be 3 other things, and we'll go from there. So
love it.
I'm taking note of all of these, and these are going to make sure that in our plans for our next trip.
I think that's the best thing, Ben, and I think we're touching upon stuff that, last month and this month we're touching upon places, and we're touching on rides, we're touching upon food places that maybe other people have not done. We're in that planning window now.
Yeah.
With everything opening up again, with the opportunity to get to America fast upcoming, we've got that whole thing as a show. We can actually help someone at home plan their next trip, and it doesn't matter if they're listening in the UK, they're listening in the US. There's going to be things, things like Claire not having seen Fantasmic. There's things like that.
Come on, does that never going to not doing the pavilions?
No.
Sorry, let's not go back
It's about equal.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
that's fine.
no, it's not even equal.
Is it not?
No.
What I meant is no.
Sammy, did you? Well, I'm going to say you didn't see Illuminations, did you?
I did,
Oh,
because
you did?
John made me go and see it. Remember,
Ah.
my last trip, John was like, "Yeah, I have to go and see it." And I was like, "Okay." I saw it before it
I'm
went.
glad you did before it went.
Yeah, I was going to say it went.
Yep.
So here we are at the end of this anniversary waffle. I still can't believe everything that we've managed to do over the past 2 years. We've all got plans to get back to our park, and there's no stopping us now. Maybe just wait for the borders to open. Other than that, we'll be back there. We've got lots of plans, and let's hope they all happen very soon. So we wouldn't be here without the support from all of you listening, watching, those that comment, interact, and subscribe to our channels. You have all been amazing, and we look forward to sharing some amazing stuff we have coming up. As it's been our anniversary show, we do have a few messages from our friends of the show. So let's have a listen to them now.
Congratulations, Great British Mickey Waffle, on 2 years.
Yep, 2 years of podcasts and YouTube. Congratulations.
Yep, we know how much work it takes.
Yeah.
And a massive thank you from us for all the support with Broadway's Away. We really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, and long may you continue with your podcast and on YouTube, and we're looking forward to the next episode already.
Absolutely.
Wow. 2 big years have gone already on YouTube. It's awesome that all of you came together and put this channel together and have done the amazing work that you guys have done. The Great British Mickey Waffle. Congrats, guys. Onward and upward to many more years to come.
Hey guys!
Hi, it's Angie and Gaz from the Kershaw's Adventures.
We're here to wish everyone at the Great British Mickey Waffle a massive congratulations on 2 years doing your podcast.
Congrats, guys, that's amazing.
Great achievement.
What is up, Great British Mickey Waffle? It's Disney Dan here. I just want to give a massive congratulations to your milestone of your podcast and everything that you've done in this Disney community. It is such a wonderful thing for you. Amazing achievement, and with everybody who takes part in your podcast and your YouTube channel, it's just such a fun, welcoming community, and it's just wonderful to be a part of that. I'm very honoured that you invited me onto the podcast. It was so much fun. We could have talked for hours and hours and hours more, but it was again one of the best podcasts I've ever joined and been part of. So I want to give a massive thank you to you and to everybody who is part of the Great British Mickey Waffle. You guys are absolutely amazing at what you do. You're such loved in this community, and thank you again, and a massive congratulations. So really well done, and I'll see you guys real soon. All right. Bye.
Well, hey, Wafflers, it's Tom and Michelle from the Hyperion Adventures podcast.
And we're so excited to congratulate you on your 2nd anniversary. That's awesome.
2 years. What an outstanding run for you all. It's been so great getting to know you over the last couple of years. We are big fans of your show. You have supported our show in so many ways, and we just couldn't be more happy for you.
Right. And you know, you really know how to make us smile. You make us laugh, and we really appreciate that. We love you all, love your humor, love the information you bring, and it's just awesome. I could be in the lowest of moods and turn on your podcast, and I know I'm feeling better in minutes.
You know, it's just like their namesake. You know, they are the Great British Mickey Waffle.
That's true.
I kind of find them very much like a Mickey Waffle. You guys, you're sweet. You're wonderful. You're filling at the end with all the information and laughter you give us with. And I don't think you provide any calories when we're on a Disney resort, right?
That's true.
Look, we love you guys. You guys are fantastic. We're so excited for you that you've reached your 2nd anniversary. We're hoping for many, many, many more. And we're hoping sometime in the near future that maybe we'll get to run into you all, whether it be over here in the States at one of the Disney parks, Walt Disney World, Disneyland, or maybe over there nearer you across the pond over at Disneyland Paris.
Yeah, that would be so much fun. And again, as Tom said, thank you so much. We appreciate all the support you gave us, and we are celebrating your victory to a 2nd year.
So guys, cheers to you all. Here's to many, many more years of the Great British Mickey Waffle.
Hello to my friends of the Great British Mickey Waffle podcast. While another day ends here in the Magic Kingdom, a brand new year begins for you, my friends, and I wanted to say thank you so much for your friendship and for everything that you've done for not just the Disney community, but for the community at large. And I cannot wait to see what the next year holds in store for you guys. And I'm looking forward to meeting you at some point. And maybe introducing you to this guy in person at some point, if he's not too busy.
How are you?
So, my friends, congratulations on another year. Great podcasting and vlogging and all that fun stuff. And we will.
You're great. You're great.
You're great. Well, you see, you heard it from the man himself. You're great, and they think you're great too.
Yes.
They think, for what it's worth.
On the other hand, we have Colin and Zach.
For what it's worth. Love you guys so much from across the pond.
I wish you a wonderful, wonderful happy anniversary. Thanks for being friends. Thanks for being part of this community. We'll see you later.
Oh, do you know something? I'm tearing up looking at that. It's just like, do you know when you've met and we've talked to so many people, we've got in touch with so many people, and it's only in 2 years, and to have people come back to us and saying things like that about us, it makes you kind of proud of what we've actually managed to achieve. Really does. So a big thank you to all of you guys for sending those messages in. It's really appreciated. And yeah, and do you know something? I'd love to speak to Lou again.
Yep.
Because he was one of our first ones, and it actually, I think all of us that felt that we didn't do that chat with Lou justice, and it was such a fantastic chat. So if you've missed it and you haven't caught up with us talking with Lou Mongello, please go back and check it out on our website, because it was a good one. But I from the bottom of my heart, it's just like what a thing to be able to watch. I don't know about you guys. I'm choking up here. That's lovely.
Oh, that's brilliant. It's talking of our website, John. That's where you can find everything that we do at the Great British Mickey Waffle, from our Wafflers Wednesdays to our Wafflers Assemble Live, which happens on the third Friday of every month. So set your reminder now for Friday, 18th of June. So plus our monthly shows on the 1st and 15th via our website or your favourite podcast app of choice. And you can find us on social media on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter at GB Mickey Waffle. So thank you to my fellow Wafflers for joining our anniversary celebration, with many more to come in the future. So there's just one thing left to say.
Happy birthday!
Waffle on! Waffle on! And in the words of Lou Mongello, God save the Queen.